So I first joined Mad Royal when I was a freshman, but I remember going to the first meeting and they had free pizza and the meeting was packed. It was packed and I was like, damn, this is a real ass film club. And then I found out the next meeting that there were only like 12 people in it and everyone only came the first day because they gave out free pizza.
I joined Mad Royal 2 years ago when it was my sophomore year, and when I joined, the club was very small, and in terms of like the actual film production, we struggled to make one project, and we did that for months and didn't end up really making anything out of it.
I started coming to Mad Royal meetings my sophomore year when I transferred to OSU. I used to go to Bowling Green, and really Mad Royal became just like my foundation at OSU.
I was in a freshman year and I hated it so much that I didn't come back sophomore year. But then some people that I knew sophomore year, like I saw them at a party and I was like, oh wait, you guys are in Mad Royal now? That's kind of cool, Mad Royal seems cool. So I came back.
It was a lot of fun, but it was definitely less structured than it is now.
I'd say Mad Royal became the Mad Royal that we see today sometime last year.
It was still a little bit of a mess and it was still small, but where I think we succeeded was in the process of making It's Your Call.
At first it was a little bit like we were still trying to figure things out, but I think there was a certain point, and I don't know exactly when it was, but it was sometime in that fall, everyone was just like, we're here, we're trying, we're like putting time into this, why aren't we actually making good things?
We all knew we wanted to do more, but we didn't know how to yet. And it wasn't until, I would say, January of that school year where we really decided, we were like, all of us together were like, yeah, why aren't we really putting forth the effort that we want to?
My personal film experience at Ohio State is very similar to what a lot of I hear other people talking about, where there are very limited resources, there are few opportunities, and it's just this like there's no sense of community within this, and that is where I think Mad Royal really becomes an important part. Mad Royal became the community that didn't exist at Ohio State, and I think when a group of students have that community, they come up with new ideas that like, they wouldn't have necessarily thought were possible to do alone or to do in small groups. And with It's Your Call, we really figured out how much that could go. Was basically a horror film on a game show set where we needed an 8-foot wheel and a stage.
We spent hours in Newark, Ohio, like painting or setting up the film set.
I almost cut off my finger. Remember that? I have a scar where I cut my finger from making that wheel. Fuck you, Matt Swift.
It was a really big shift because before we were so used to kind of just like rolling around and not really doing much, and then it was really exciting.
What I think is like the most ridiculous and like almost worked shot is definitely like the dolly shot in It's Your Call. I remember we were running out of time one day and we were at like take 14 and people were all pissed at me and I was like, no, it'll be fine. I showed it to someone in LA and they were like, that's a fucking cool shot.
It was so great to be able to put all of that work and all of that effort into something, and also see the other people around you also putting in that much work into it.
That whole period of time was so exciting because we realized that, we can do this.
That was like the first thing I think we all made that we were all proud of.
As the year came to a close, we started to like look inwards, and there were basically just 8 people in the club, all juniors going to be seniors, and we thought Mad Royal was gonna die.
We were all graduating that following year, and so there were a lot of anxieties about it because we were like, regardless, like we're gonna make something we're proud of and we're gonna make something that we're really passionate about, but after that, like maybe Mad Royal just dies and maybe it doesn't continue, or we didn't really start something that would last a long time. And so the beginning of this year, was just shocking for all of us.
I remember the first meeting of this year. We got there early and we were all like kind of nervous, honestly. And we walked in the room and there were already people there. And we were kind of just amazed, honestly.
I saw you guys on the Oval at the Involvement Fair, and Sonia brought me over, and I signed up, and I was going to go to the first meeting, but I came a little late during the middle of It's Your Call, and I almost went past, but my friend made me go. It was the best choice I ever made.
My first impression of the exec board was that they were all way cooler than me. Like, not only were they like aesthetically cooler than me, but they like all knew a lot more than I knew, and like so that was a little intimidating, but like they were just so warm and kind and just so welcoming.
When you showed It's Your Call, I was like, that is not what I expected a student film to look like. I was like, that looks pretty professional.
Everyone was just really nice and welcoming, and everyone's supportive of kind of creating a learning environment for everyone. And for me, not knowing a lot about making videos, that was super, super important for me.
I joined last semester, it being the first semester I had in the actual like moving image production department.
It's Your Call, it was just so pretty, and so it just seemed so professional, and it was something I hadn't seen before, and seeing that really left such a strong impression. And I was like, I have to learn everything I can from these people and be a part of it.
It was really cool because usually on the first meetings you just have a bunch of random people who are looking for things like free pizza or just trying to like meet people that they can like take away and take into their own world and like not participate in this community. And I think these people, you could tell right away, like they weren't just interested in taking, like being like, oh, we're gonna use your stuff. Oh, I just wanna find a screenwriter to work with. I just wanna find an editor to work with. Like they were there and they were willing to contribute and to participate and to like be present for every meeting.
Another thing that was really important for me was the fact that we had so many women who joined the club. You know, we had younger women like Emma, Emmy, Morgan, Michaela. Just, I could list off so many people who joined, and before that wasn't something we had, like even junior year. And it was so inspiring to see, you know, a bunch of 18, 19-year-old girls who were like, hell yeah, like we're gonna take charge.
I definitely felt like I had a sense of belonging in Mad Royal during some of the smaller screenwriting meetings, just because it's a few people like hanging out in a room, just like throwing ideas around, and that was really exciting to me. Just coming in as a freshman, being able to have those ideas in the final project was super rewarding and super exciting.
I think it's really interesting too that not everyone's even in film, but some people are in so many different like majors. It's really cool to see how all of us are able to input our own ideas and creative visions into our big projects.
Some of the members of exec board decided, like, it was like me and Sonia, we were sitting on my bed and we were getting ready to go to the kickoff with some of the underclassmen. And we were just kind of supervising their group, but then we had decided like that day, yeah, why not? Let's just do it. So we were like, okay. And we only needed 2 actors, and it was me and Zach. And it was a lot of fun. Like, just to see how much we'd grown since the first 3 weeks of Terror was really cool. And like, we rushed it and we did it in only a week, but you know, we ended up winning. And you know, this is kind of what this club is all about, you know, spontaneous little films like that. That kind of just let you be creative, and you can just go and hang out at 3 a.m. in the woods with friends.
So our second big project, Laundromat, was the first time that we really meshed together these new people and the old people that worked on It's Your Call.
We were presented with a brand new challenge, which was how to incorporate all of these members who had been a part of the process, and also making sure that everybody felt like they mattered on set, like that they had a role, that they were learning, that they were engaging with what was going on, because that was huge for us.
I think that the way we approached Laundromat was really successful in terms of letting the exec board have like a key role in the project, but using the new members as like support players.
Working on Laundromat last semester, I was just willing to do anything, and it was so awesome to get around this equipment that I had never dreamed of.
The filming weekend, I think, was probably like one of my favorite weekends I've had in college so far. Like, it was just such a great time. I had no idea what I was doing. Most of the time on set, I was probably not a very helpful hand, but just like be around all those people and be around all that equipment and the shoot, and it was just a really fun experience.
I mainly did the screenwriting portion, and then I got to come on the shoot. And like, thinking back, I didn't really do a lot like physically, but just being there and being able to observe and see everything that was happening around me was such a great learning experience.
We made the TV dinner, which looked like absolute garbage, and we spent probably an hour or more just dressing that thing up and wiping the mashed potatoes off of pieces of some kind of meat. I don't know what meat it was. It was not pork loin like it said in the movie. It was just such a fun time, and it was like the first time that I had felt like I was doing something. It was a very small something, but I was just like, this is awesome. Like, I'm making a movie. Like, whoa, I'm being a part of this.
I remember when we were in Zach's apartment, Jeremy handed me a boom mic because he was just sick of holding it. And then that was like the first time I got to, you know, play with sound. And then it's just cool that those small interactions, you know, they really make a big impact and can mean a lot to you when you're like, wow, like I did something, I tried something new.
Film Fest was really cool. That was just like another thing we threw ourselves into, and we had this worry the whole semester. We were like, well, what if it's only us that shows up? What if it's like our group and like some of our friends and it's like 20 people? And we were also worried, we were like, what if we only get one submission? And we like bullied people into submitting. We had plenty of submissions. I don't remember how many we had, but we had like a good amount of submissions, and it was like a really good turnout. We had like close to 100 people there.
Are you guys with me? Yeah!
Yeah!
Yeah! Yeah!
Yeah!
It was so fucking
Yes!
cool.
I thought we were saying her name.
I win. Elena. Scissors.
I think what really marked the transition in Mad Royal between like the new members taking over and the old members stepping aside was a little get together we had at the end of last year, because like we were getting close, and it was after we filmed Laundromat, which really brought us together, but we had never like had fun. We'd never gone out together, and so we had a party, and it would just, everyone felt so comfortable with each other. Usually you go to a house party and you know like 4 people there, or if you do know everyone, it's like people exist within these different groups that like, oh, they're a little cliquey, or they're this and they're this. But like when we were all in that house together, you could tell that like everyone belonged, everyone felt comfortable, and everyone had a good time. I punched myself in the face and made my nose bleed.
So the smaller projects were really fun. Just working with, I don't know, like a tight-knit group of people who maybe you wouldn't necessarily talk to beyond just like casual conversation in a meeting. You know, like having those people with the same level of experience or similar levels of experience to you, and being able to just like create a project in like 3 weeks. It was super, super fun. And it's nice because even those like mini projects, you really learn a lot on set. So it was really fun being able to do that and just talk with people and make friends. Like I'm really close to everyone in that group now.
Denim Pride, Denim Pride, Denim Pride.
I would say that Laundromat was probably the last project that the exec board really had like a heavy hand in. I think it was a good transition looking back on it after I've completed, like after I've, what's this current thing called?
In Need of Direction, behind the scenes, take 1.
So taking a step back this semester was kind of weird, and I think made us all kind of nervous.
In Need of Direction was a little different from Laundromat in that I got a little bit more hands-on, especially with the camera. That was scary and exciting.
I played more of an important role compared to Laundromat. I was just sort of hanging around in Laundromat, but Exec Board kind of took a step back for In Need of Direction.
I really stepped up a lot as a leader. I feel like I helped do a good amount of the planning.
I'm really glad that we took a step back and said, no, like we've done enough and we want to pass it on because this is so important for them now as freshmen and sophomores and even juniors, like just going forward in their time in Mad Royal and making it theirs.
I know Emma, Jeremy, Emmy, and Brian really like took the reins in terms of like the scheduling and the setting up that kind of stuff. And then on set, I just felt like we had a lot more independence, and then the exec board was less there to really point and guide things and more there to be like a resource that we could use.
I'm very grateful that they did that, because if it would have been like Laundromat again, where I was, you know, kind of in a secondary role, then I think that next year when they left, it would have been a lot harder to make the films that we make.
Got it. That was good. That was really good.
And now
Right after we wrapped on In Need of Direction, we had been packing up, and I got into Brian's car, which was absolutely packed with just like props, costumes, equipment, everything. Emma and I were in the back seat, and Pavan was shotgun. And he turned around and he was like, "You guys, that was so great." He just started complimenting us out of nowhere. And like, he's been in Mad Royal longer than anyone else in the club right now. So him saying that was like a really big deal that made me cry. Like, I literally cried in the backseat. It was just awesome to hear from him.
Similar to how It's Your Call was very much ours, I think In Need of Direction very much became theirs, and that's really special because it was such an incredible experience watching them film and become this team that worked really well together and became friends and like had inside jokes and lived this whole thing that made me really nostalgic for what we had with It's Your Call, because I'm like, yeah, like we had that and that was really nice, and now we get to pass this beautiful experience and this beautiful community on to new people.
Being in Mad Royal has been probably some of the most memorable experiences here at OSU.
It's just like the most special thing. It's the most, like, I'm so grateful for having that experience from college, because we've done some really incredible things, and I'm so grateful because I have my best friends from this club. I don't think that I would change anything if I had the option.
I've made so many great relationships with people that I feel like will last far beyond college and graduation with these friends that I've made.
College is a fucking disaster, and it's been nice. Like every Monday at 7, you show up in Denny 209 and you're gonna be with your people, and you're gonna be able to talk about whatever you want, and everyone's gonna have a good time. And I feel like that's something that I might not have ever again, which is kind of crazy.
I feel like it's a very welcoming environment that we have, so it's like really important that we keep that.
I'm gonna miss like staying up all night, putting up all this effort for something that like doesn't really matter. Like, yes, it matters to you, and yes, it matters to like create art, but like going almost insane, like skipping class, doing all this dumb shit just to create something with all these people who are feeling the same way and have had no sleep for like 3 days is so cool. Because finding a group of people that are actually committed to something, especially something that like isn't making you money or isn't making you famous or isn't making you like get an A, it's getting you a fucking C actually, is really cool.
This has really just been like my favorite part of this entire year, is being a part of this club. Like the whole group, everyone in this club are just amazing people, and I'm really sad to see like the exec board go.
To the old exec board, thank you so much for setting up this amazing community, and for, you know, providing the environment that gives people the ability to share their ideas and to have their voices be heard, and you know, to just create and make cool things.
Thank you so much for everything, because there have been no greater teachers than you.
Like everyone taking over now, or taking over for next semester, we wouldn't really have the same like vision for the club if we didn't have the exec board to like kind of help us through the first semester.
Mad Royal has been not only the greatest experience I've had in college, but one of the greatest experiences I've had in my entire life. You know, the people of Mad Royal mean so much to me, and they always will. I'll always be grateful for all of the experiences I've had in Mad Royal. You know, even the long days on set where we're tired and we're hungry and we're so annoyed with each other that we're all ready to snap at any moment. And all the late nights we spent stressing over everything that we're doing. Even those moments are so special to me because of the people I was with, and knowing that no matter what we were going through in that moment, we would continue to be friends afterwards, and that it was all going into something that was so important to all of us. There isn't another group of people in the world that I would have rather experienced it with. So, thank you.
It's amazing how much Mad Royal has accomplished in the last 2 years. And seeing just continuing that in the tradition of making sure that everyone has a voice and can be heard and gets a seat at the table to be able to do things they wouldn't be able to do on their own.
Over the last year, I mean, we've come to see that it's not gonna die, and I really do think it's gonna be better off than anything we did. Like, we brought them to a point where they could like pick it up where we left off and continue it. So I am gonna take a little bit of credit, but I think they're gonna do way better than we did.
I feel so confident that Mad Royal in the future is just going to be bigger and better than we ever set it up to be, and that falls so much because of the leadership that it's in now. Every member of the production team and other members of the future exec board are so incredible in every way. Like, they're so capable of taking visions and just like running with it and being so ready to dive in head first. That's just like a really special quality to have, and I see that so much in the new exec board. They're so cool because they care, and they're friendly, and they're willing to include everyone and make sure it's an inclusive and productive and just overall beautiful environment to make film. It's just going to be amazing knowing that this group of people are the ones in charge of it now. I'm very confident. I'm very excited to see what they do.
Hi, Trevor. Nikki, take one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait.
No, we just started.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
If you could just clap again.
Nikki, take two.
That's bad.
Wait. I got it.
Oop, that was a bad clap. I'm sure it's good, but wow. Nice. That was a good one.
The way I said we're not here anymore makes it sound like we're gonna die. We're dead.
We no longer
We pass on to Haven.
I think that's Oliver. Yeah. Oh God.
Is that dude a joke? Is this a joke? That's a thumb with a baby. Oh my God. You'll see him in a sec. He's gonna be in my background in my next thing.
The next year, I ran for treasurer.
Let me think of memories real fast. Fuck, the mic there. I'm playing with my nipple. I'm playing with my nipples. What?
Okay. Hey, you dickheads. I'm sending a message to you guys. To the members of Mad Royal who are graduating, thank you for being my best friends. Thank you for... Fuck you. Fuck that look. Oh my God. Get the fuck out. I don't want you here. Okay. Okay, yeah. Shut up. I'm busy.
A few of these, so came back to a couple and then joined the screenwriting team, and it's just been like all uphills from there.
Sorry, could you say that again? I had to focus.
Oh my God,
Sorry.
Zach,
It's my
you're
bad.
killing me.
It's totally
All right.